man.
It is time for 5 fast questions. Shim, you've got the questions. I've got the answers. Fire away, start.
Number 1, if you could listen to one decade of music, what decade would it be?
90s.
Number 2, video killed the radio star. What did the internet kill?
Civil discourse.
Number 3, what do you like to daydream about?
Being rich and famous and having a lazy river.
Number 4, what song is stuck in your head right now?
Valhalla Calling.
Number 5, what's the best movie plot twist of all time?
All right. I think most people would say Sixth Sense, but I'm going to go with Cabin in the Woods or Usual Suspects. And that is 5 fast questions.
Very well done. And the lazy river needs to make an appearance in every 5 fast questions by the sound of it.
I am fucking determined at this point that I will get
a lazy
river.
We need a t-shirt. Got to be a t-shirt for the History of Rock podcast with a lazy river. And
but
just
here's the thing.
a little hut with Brandon on it and a big fucking river and all. There's just a little hut with food and that's it.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Like the shirt. It's the river actually goes all the way around the t-shirt. Like it's a true lazy river. It's not just some print on the front. It goes all the way around, like covers your torso. It's the lazy river. I'm telling you, like as much effort as we're putting into these podcasts and the shorts and the numbers going up and everything, I am goddamn determined to become famous enough to make enough money that I just can have a lazy river. That's it. Like that's all I want. I mean, like all the other stuff would be kind of cool. But if I can get a lazy river, I'm happy. I'm set for
That's when you know. That's when you know. I think it's interesting. For me, I look at it and go, if you get to the point where everything in your life is so paid off that your kid's college fund is put away plus insurance, you go, well, I really just have nothing else to spend money on. That's what a lazy river represents to me. It's like, wow, you really have got everything covered.
Yeah.
That you can buy.
Yeah.
That you can buy a lazy river.
Now granted, I'm pretty sure a lazy river would actually be more on the top of my list than other things that, I should be purchasing.
I love the fact that if you met someone who had a lazy river, you would never need to ask the question, you good?
I'd never leave their house. If I knew somebody that had a lazy river, I'd move the fuck in.
Yeah. You never need to ask,
I don't care if I don't like that person.
The answer is always going to be, I'm great.
Yeah.
I'm great. I got a lazy river.
I have a goddamn lazy river. And it's going to be designed like the Jungle Cruise from Disneyland. Like there's going to be animals and it's going to have like foliage and it's just going to be awesome.
Foliage?
I don't know if that was the right use of that term. But anyway, so let's go through these 5 fast questions here real quick.
Well, if you could listen to one decade of music, what decade would it be?
It's got 90s. You've got some of the best hip-hop, grunge, obviously starting the 90s, and then you had Korn with the new metal movement towards the end, because you would get, as we've been talking about Limp Bizkit on these episodes, you would get Significant Other. You would miss out on Chocolate Starfish, because that was released in the year 2000.
That's a good point.
But I'm going 90s.
So you really do get the best of everything.
In there. Yeah, you got STP in there. I mean, it's just, that was amazing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think there's the most stuff. There was the most congestion of eclecticism within pop music, especially the fact that Korn and was Destiny's Child doing its thing back then, or all those R&B girl groups that were really good. They were dominating the charts at the same time. That's never happened before or since. And then, so then the second one was video killed the radio star. What did the internet kill?
Civil discourse, man. Like, for some ungodly reason, it's to the point now we can't just have a goddamn conversation. Because when it comes to anything, it's not about finding a solution to a problem. It's about being right. I'm right. My side is right. Like, when it comes to the political spectrum, fuck Republicans, fuck Democrats. It has nothing to do with politics. It's your team. Fucking admit it. Buy a fucking jersey that says your team on the front. Get a foam fucking finger when election rolls around. Because that's all it the fuck is. That's it. And so then that's where civil discourse has been fucking destroyed.
Number 3, what do you like to daydream about?
Yeah, baby. Just being rich, famous. No, look, being rich and famous, that's a byproduct. I just want the lazy river. I'm assuming.
Wouldn't you rather just be rich and have a lazy river? You don't need to be famous. You don't want people bothering you.
No, well, if I got a lazy river, it's going to be hidden. It's where I go.
So which song did you say was stuck in your head right now?
Hold on, but you got to admit, it is a little bit cool. Like, being kind of like when you get recognized in public, like that is kind of cool, man. You know?
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I want superstardom where like people like, and I quite frankly, I'm never going to reach that level. But again, if I got a lazy river,
I think it's nice to not have to wait in line. I just think that if you were the man who had a lazy river, you wouldn't leave to receive the perks of fame. You know what I mean?
Because you have a lazy river. Why would you leave your house?
Exactly. And what song was stuck in your head?
Valhalla Calling. I keep forgetting who the artist is, but it's the. It was really heavy on TikTok, and I can't remember the exact lyrics at the beginning. My kid's obsessed with that song, though. Like I was kind of.
Is that why it's stuck in your head? That's why it's stuck in your head.
Well, I also created. Remember how I told you I was kind of in a music funk? Mm-hmm. It's like I created a new playlist today as I was working out. I'm kind of adjusting how I work out, and I'm like, I'm going to start like lifting heavier weights. Like I'm going to get fucking huge. Not really.
Right.
And I'm like, I need music to get me fucking going because when your workout routine gets stagnant, it's like you just kind of go through the motions and then you don't see any change. So I created a playlist, and this is one of those ones where it's ships on vigor of the whales are skimming, bearing summers to the verdant plains.
So it's a sea shanty.
Yeah.
It's just. Yeah. I did not see a sea shanty coming.
Oh, and there's multiple versions. There's like a duet version. That's the one I listened to. There's a metal version of the song. Dude, go listen to it. It's fucking amazing.
Is anyone else in the chat ever listened to sea shanty songs when they're working out? And if not, what do you listen to when you work out? That'd be funny if you got the kettlebells, you're walking around the gym, and you know how you see those guys got the headphones on, and there's a guy who's got some free weights, and he's doing this in between. He's like, he does that in between reps, and instead you're going to be this like, dude, I'm telling you, doing the sea shanty up and down between the free weights.
When you hear that song, you'll understand why it's a great workout song.
All right. Okay, number 5. What's the best movie plot twist of all time? I think most people would go to The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense, and that's why I'm like Sixth Sense, but because there's 2 movies that I always have lodged in my brain that were just brilliant, and I like Cabin in the Woods. For anybody who hasn't seen, especially with Halloween coming around, I cannot recommend it enough. I'm not going to spoil it.
I don't know what it is. Can you tell me? I don't know what it is.
I'll tell you when we're off. Like, because I don't want to say it here because I want people to go watch the movie. It's Joss Whedon. It's got Chris Hemsworth, for crying out loud. Thor's in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Thor.
That's a movie that you don't. Like what happens is not what you expect, and it's really good.
Okay.
And then on the flip side, a little uncomfortable mentioning this one just because of the whole Kevin Spacey thing. But Usual Suspects, man. At the very end,
I wouldn't have gone there at all. But yeah, I remember the first time I saw The Usual Suspects, I was like,
and he's walking away,
satisfied.
And then out of nowhere, he's not limping anymore, and he gets in the car with the guy that plays the priest in the Romeo and Juliet fucking modern version.
Yeah,
I think that's.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it's a brilliant. I remember the first time I watched The Usual Suspects. You got a great plot twist when your first instinct is I've got to go back and watch the whole thing from the beginning again
to catch it all.
And that's exactly what happens. Exactly what happened with the Usual Suspects. So that was 5 Fox questions. Thank you very much, Brandon.